Om Shanti, everyone. Well, let's say that again. Om Shanti, like saying it to yourself. And then now say it out loud to yourself, no matter what. Om Shanti. Welcome, everyone, to Friday with Friends. Today we have a special edition with our friend Jamila Smith, who is a student and teacher at the Delray Beach Brahmakumari's Raja Yoga Center. And in addition to being a student of Raja Yoga, Jamila is a professional singer. And she has performed all around. I know she does the cruise ships. She's been in the group Fifth Dimension, which I'm very familiar with, the age of Aquarius. And I'm sure you all around the world, you were even in Aida, the Elton John and Tim Rice show. So this is no small thing. You're a real professional. Welcome, Jamila.
Thank you.
So I was thinking that the best way to introduce yourself, instead of me talking about your long resume, would be you to give us a little song as just a means of introducing today's class. How about it?
Yes, I have a song, and I'm going to do not the complete song, but it's a song that kind of rings with what's going on, and it can be received in a few different ways. And so I'm just going to share some of it, and I just want to thank you again, Brother Craig, for inviting me to Friends on Friday, or Friday with Friends. It is Wind Beneath My Wings. Must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. That's your way. You always walked a step behind. Now I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I would like to be. And I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Yes, you are the wind beneath my wings. Thank you.
Lovely. You know, music has a way of fast tracking to the soul. And I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. And it's really a gift to do. And a question that came up while you were singing is that, have you noticed, as you've developed in your own spiritual practice, that the same things that you're singing about, like the wind beneath my wings, do you find that your musical career and your spiritual career, so to speak, are joining and complement each other?
Yes, yes, indeed. Music has been a part of my life since a very early age. And I've felt that I've always had intuitiveness with music, and just the connection and the power and the connection to people and the soul of the person. But as I became older, I realized how powerful it was. It's almost one of the most powerful entities that we have that crosses everything. So I I feel so fortunate as to be a part of, to be an instrument, to be able to, depending on whatever style it is, but more so now, more uplifting, something that's healing and things like that. So it's actually coming together on a whole nother level, and I'm so excited.
Oh, I could actually feel as you were singing the purity of the emotion that comes up. And so your gift that you have is a very, very influential gift to have, that it connects you to people in a way that normally we're not so open to listening to others, but by the vehicle of the song, you reach me right away. And so suddenly I'm open to you, and I want to be open to you because I understand that it feels good. Is that your experience?
Yes, yes, because what happens is having the ability to extend what I'm feeling and to be able to transmit that is a special thing, because that's not always the case, but it has been for me. So again, very, very, very happy.
Well, so gratefulness and thankfulness are automatic,
Yeah.
that you get to experience it all the time. So I know that you can sing all by yourself without any accompaniment, and that's wonderful. It's a great talent. But when I mentioned earlier that you were in the group Fifth Dimension, that's bringing other people into it. So now it's a whole nother dimension to find a joint voice, and you have to harmonize with others.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the subject that I wanted to touch on today, is draw the parallels between learning about harmony in music and learning about harmony in life with other individuals, because we don't go it alone. What is your experience in terms of what takes successful harmonies amongst equally talented individuals?
Humility, because you have to bring yourself into a oneness, and it's not about just you or the other person. So you're listening to everyone at the same time, and everyone's listening to everyone. So and that was a very special thing with the Fifth Dimension, is that 5 voices came together and they had like this oneness of sound. So when I was with the group, that was very, very, very important, that you can be able to do that, because some singers are very, very can be as individuals, they're soloists. So you really have to bring yourself down to another level in order to blend properly, with the group. And harmonizing, it's very similar from the perspective of one person to the next person, the people that you're around, the people that you work with, all of that, being sensitive to that the vibration is of one. But sometimes it's challenging because we have all of these things, these noises, chatter going on in our own minds. So, and to always, or to, what is it, when we to be an observer, to look, to see things, but detach yourself away from it, and that gives you some power, and it also can help the other person as well, because then it's not about you, so you're
Well, I was thinking you must have to be very strong in yourself, in your own talents, that you're not needing like a constant approval, or you're not on edge, but you can, because someone might hit a wrong note, or I have to know where I stand in relationship to another person. So it really is I don't know anything about singing, but I do see the necessity of being an instrument, like you said. I like what you said, the 2 words, instrument and humility. And I think I need to have that strong sense of self in order to do either of those 2 things.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes, what do you, when someone is giving a wrong note, how do you respond to someone being off?
That's a hard one because I've worked over the years, I've worked with a lot of different vocalists, and sometimes people just have, they're constantly pitchy. So you, or they're off just slightly and they can't hear it themselves. So there's not a whole lot that, in my own experience, you know, how do I deal with that? I haven't been in the position of being like a leader or like the musical director and things like that. You try to be as helpful as you can. You try to give examples, you know, if that person doesn't have a real good ear of hearing, and, you know, you just try to do it in the most humble way that it's not offensive, you know, so, because we as artists can be very, very temperamental and very sensitive. So as an artist, you have to understand that too. So it's how you say it, you know, things like that.
So I was thinking, just as in non-singing, in regular life, in our relationships of trying to create harmony, the so-called constructive criticism is not really effective, you know, because we are sensitive. And so I continually have to find ways to harmonize by not taking away from someone, but by encouraging them to, that they can, you know. Sometimes people, they're part of the group, but they don't even know that they may be beautiful, or their voice has the note we exactly need. And then I can be in a position that, oh yes, but of course you can do it. And what I see against in all spiritual leaders is that they make everyone walk away feeling that they're better than they thought they were previously to the meeting. So harmony. Well, just how about, are you been cognizant of or have seen how taking the harmony, the knowledge of harmony that you learn in music and applying that to your personal relationships, I don't know if you've even thought of this, do some of the same rules apply of harmonizing to the other person?
I would say yes.
Well, go ahead. Well, I was thinking, okay, you share your home, you have a husband, and that's a very big relationship in life, and harmony is very necessary in order to a successful relationship. But of course, there's always events that happen all the time. Are there any harmonizing tips or things that you've experienced that work, or ways of you to think that others could maybe also enact?
I believe the biggest thing is allowing people to be, and the expectation of what I need from you shouldn't, you know, allows that person to become more comfortable, allows there to be better harmony. It does mean that you are having to have more of an understanding of things, and having more of an elevated reality of, you know, in my spiritual walk in Brahma Kumaris, I've learned so many great lessons in this topic of harmonizing with my family, and always being the person that's bridging, trying to bridge things together, bring things together, and from having a more spiritual perspective of things. So it's very, very helpful in that. But allowing a person to be who they are, and trying to, and God has given me in order to, you know, you go within, because you don't have all the answers how to deal with that personality or that behavior. So it has to be more than, you know, yourself trying to overcome, you know, the indifferences, because the indifferences will always be there. So,
you know, and then as you were speaking to it, I was feeling that about let him be. Oh, there's another song, Let It Be. You know, so there's so many things. In fact, earlier I had a song idea for you to take, we can discuss it later, about how to bring things into the present time, things that we all are familiar with, but put on a different slant, bring on a whole new significance. And so the next step of harmonizing with others, how about harmonizing with myself? You know, is that any easier or harder?
Sometimes harder, because
can you say to yourself, let her be, you know, this is, I accept myself how I am.
I am, yeah. I have to remind myself when I'm dealing with my own individual challenges, is that I have to allow it to flow. I have to let go of my own habits, of my own thoughts, of what I want them to be, and go with the drama of what is actually happening. So that way you find so much more peace within yourself first.
So I could just see the parallels, like when you're singing live and you have no control over what's coming out. There might be a musical accompaniment that plays a wrong note, or even more so, I may hit the wrong note or hit the right note at a different time. Can I let go of that? You know, because if I don't, I'm going to be thinking about that. I know from my, you know, in the dance world, if you make a mistake and you think about that, then everything else after that is messed up too. You got to let it go.
Absolutely, you got to let it go. Yeah, that's a really good point, brother. That's a really good point, because if you're stumbling, because if in past I've made some mistakes or forgot a word or something like that, but if you stay focused on that mistake, then you can't even move forward, because then it's just, you're stuck. So you've cut yourself off from the delivery of whatever message that you're giving. You're in your head about, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that, you know. So you've lost them. And most times the people on the outside, they don't even know.
They don't even know.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. This is so true. Is I've often said that, you know, in trying to say, you know, I've come from the world of dance, and sometimes when you're choreographing something and you got to get someone on stage, but you don't want anyone to see them, so that you can create. People don't even know what you're doing. You could do anything you want to if you bring the attention there, because they're not looking at it the same way I'm looking at it. They're looking at it from something different. So I don't know about you, but I find that so liberating.
Yeah.
That it gives me permission to experiment with and to make a wrong note. And it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that I don't put a judgment on it.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and I think people appreciate it, because people have come up to me, and if I make a mistake, they're like, it's okay. I'm human. You know, I'm not some, you know, machine or something. And they appreciate the humanness that I have on stage, because it's like, okay, someone that technical difficulty, or can we just start that again, you know, but it's just in a natural sense where you're just not humiliated and just so, you know, afraid, you know, of what people are thinking.
So that seems like also you're having a lot of acceptance for what's going on. So again, acceptance is also another key. So you said humility, being an instrument, and acceptance. These are all things that work in singing, but I can't find any time that they don't work in life outside of singing. The songs that we're having with each other on a daily basis.
Yep. Yes.
Would you say your ears are better because you can sing? Do you listen better?
I've started listening better. I can't say I was really, in my previous marriage, I wasn't the best listener. And that was, you know, but I learned so much in that. There was benefits, because even though your shortcomings, they don't have to be, you know, permanent. Nothing's permanent if you allow yourself to grow. But we're giving 2 ears. So, you know, I've been told that, you know, and I'm like, you know, that makes sense. We have two ears and one mouth.
So it should be twice as much listening
Yes,
as there is talking.
but it's hard to listen. It's hard to listen.
Okay, that's good for you.
And-
See, you found your voice, but lots of us, we feel that we haven't found our voice and we want someone to understand. But what I find that when I'm listening to you singing, that I'm finding my voice through you finding your voice. It reverberates. So you really are playing a very influential role in people's lives just by this thing that you do because it's you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really, you are important, so that each instrument, that's like, you have to get the water from the source, but if the faucet lever isn't working, you're not getting any water. So no matter what my role is, I may not be the ocean, but maybe I'm the elbow joint of the pipe that comes up to the sink. That's a very worthy position to have. And so not to think that my role's not as important, even if I'm in the chorus and I'm in the back row.
Yes, your role is your role. And that was, I think, in one of the Merleys, maybe a week or so ago, being constant, and whatever your role is, being consistent, and understanding the power that is in that, to stay, on with that. Because sometimes you can feel like, well, I don't know, and but if you are consistent and constant in wherever it is that you've arrived in that role, not to say that you will even stay in that place, that you will grow beyond that, but if you stop, you can't ever continue to grow. So
I just have another thought to ask you, is that I'm sure that you've been through so much training, and you must have practiced your scales and little voice exercises countless times.
yes.
Have you seen the same parallel in developing a harmonious spiritual life? That it's about just the continued regular practice of the basic notes of spirituality that will make you able to sing a song that can give pleasure and benefit to many others.
Yes. There's one thing that Sister Bhavna, she said, and it just rings every day in my ear. And she would always say, create the habits that benefit you. Create the habits that benefit you. And so whatever those things, like even with singing, I mean, if you want to be the best singer, you create the habit of warming up, doing the scales. If you want to grow spiritually and be closer to God, you have to do these things, constant practice and practice and practice. So create the habits that benefit you.
And so that takes discipline. It takes consistency. It takes enough value. I have to value what it is. Then I understand that it takes that practice. Like if I have a bad experience in a performance, I could quit. No. But because I'm so embarrassed. Because I'm so embarrassed of what people will think. But they'll think that I'm a quitter. But what I learned from that is that I have to pay more attention to the basics, the fundamentals, that when I need to hit a note, I know where that note is and I can hit it every time, because I've done it so many times. I have to be able to do it completely without thinking. Yes. So in the same way, to make, let me ask you this. Do you think that your spiritual practice has reached the point, the same quality as your singing practice?
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
I've been singing for 30 years too. I've been, I've been on the path of spirituality for a very long time. But, you start out, I started my family's Baptist, my evangelist, and things like that. And
oh, yes.
charismatic, and I'm younger. And then And then I was introduced to Ram Kumaras about 3 years ago. So I am growing and growing, but even as a young child, I always felt connected, always.
And so my guess is that your singing is taking on a new dimension from a deeper place within you.
Yes. And it's becoming more for healing, because there's so much sorrow. There's so much, and I can do from classical to all different styles, but the calling that I'm feeling more and more is about healing and uplifting the spirits of those for, in the time that's to come, where my next role will be, because I don't, it's just another chapter. But
Yes.
I believe it will involve singing. But I believe it will be on a more personal level with, how do we deal with healing?
I love the idea of the healing, because, I don't know about the science of it, but I'm sure something about the vibration in music somehow resonates, and there might even be a way to focus that resonance specifically for healing for people. Not just in general, of course, and overall, I could feel it emotionally when I was first listening to the first song, but even for specific things, there might be singing might have a way, the sound vibration of it. People are talking a lot about it these days from machines, but imagine coming from a person, the sound coming from you with an intention behind it.
I'm told that. I haven't looked that much into it, but I have a good friend, and he lost his wife, but I did a show with him, and she had some experience with tones and music and how it vibrates with the body. And she was kind of sharing with me with the tone and with my voice, how it penetrates, and how just the tone. There's actually, I think there were seminars, and then there were programs that they came together, and all they did was just notes, with a certain vibration to get. So it was very interesting. I didn't kind of look into it any further, but I am aware of that power of the vibration of the voice, instruments, and things like that.
So you, sister, you have a lot of tools at your disposal, and I'm 100% supportive of you in developing that, because we can benefit on so many ways just through the pleasure of hearing it, but that's just the surface of it. It can go very deep, and so I'm going to observe with great interest your journey. I hope to, and we're going to do something again. I can see now that in this world that it's going to come in more, because we can still connect, even though we're socially distant. We can become even more connected, and song doesn't need, distance is not important. We're in different places right now, far away, but we're connected.
Still connected.
And so we can use all these tools and use your instrument in this way. So we have harmony, humility, non-judgment, let it be.
Yes, let it be.
And the consistent practice. I get, creating the habit of what you want.
Yes.
So with all that in mind, I always like to do a little meditation at the end. So today, since you are such an instrument, I'd like to take advantage of that and use your instrument and your song as a meditation for all of us to experience. Are you game for that?
Yes, I'm pulling up my song for the meditation. I Am Light.
Wonderful. Okay, wonderful.
I think everyone kind of likes that. Let's see here. Oh.
So Jamila Smith, singer, spiritual student, and healer.
Healer.
Yes, healer.
Thank you. Thank you again, Brother Craig. It has been, this is kind of new for me, This is the second opportunity. I did meet a young lady, and she interviewed me, and we were able to share and spiritual things and in song and music and things like that. So thank you. This is leave everyone with a wonderful song for meditation. I lost my Bluetooth.
Well, we have to harmonize with that.
Yes. Shanti. I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made or any other thing that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. It's all light. It's all light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Wow. Thank you so much. For song has a way of making one listen more. If you were just giving a class on I am light, then my ears listen in a certain way. But because of the pleasure that I'm experienced through the practice of listening, I'm more receptive than I would be necessarily. So what it's even called giving knowledge it's called the song divine. You play the flute of knowledge and make a beautiful song. So you're really doing a spiritual service with that voice. And I really encourage you to continue on your path, because it gives so much joy and pleasure and sustenance, peace. All those things can be found through that vehicle. So thank you, Jamila. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so very, very blessed to be here. Thank you, Craig.
And as I said, I have some ideas for you, and
Right.
you can utilize your talent even more. So thank you very much for coming. To everyone else, anyone who's watching, thank you for watching Friday with Friends, and we'll see you again next time. Bye
Until-
now. Bye.